Alright, we should be live. We're back. We're working on Terra, Magical Adept. Here's our front face and our Esper side. And this is the side we're building around, because this is the side that goes infinite if we can make a non-legendary copy of her. So, we currently have, clear all this stuff up from video editing and whatnot this morning. So we have 96 spells, so 36 cards have to go in order for Terra to be done. So roughly a third of the cards, a little bit more. We're very close, but we're also at that point where there's not as much wiggle room anymore. Like, everything I'm cutting is kind of important to the deck. And it's just a matter of I don't have room for everything now. Do I cut Argothian Enchantress? Maybe. I do have a lot of enchantments still on the list. Do I cut Rhystic Study? Also, maybe at this point, like, normally I don't run cards like Rhystic Study because I'm used to paying the mana until I can get out from underneath the enchantment, so it only kind of annoys me rather than giving any kind of serious advantage. But, you know, hindering their mana is good enough when I'm trying to do a combo deck that needs a ton of mana to go off. If it's stopping them from developing out their board a little bit faster, or if it's making them tap out in order to do the things they want to do and not hold up interaction. Or if I'm at least drawing cards off of them attempting to interact with my stuff. Like, any of that is fine. Now, if they can't afford to disrupt my combo and pay the extra mana, then it might be worth it. Also, it is an enchantment, and there's a little bit of extra value in enchantments. Like, do I just get rid of Phyrexian Arena? I have a lot of tutors, so maybe I don't need the actual card draw is the thing. So if we got rid of, like, Phyrexian Arena or Argothian Enchantress, maybe Enchantress's Presence. The problem is that I can't run something that draws me a card every time an enchantment enters, because otherwise I will deck out doing the combo some amount of the time. So I need cards that trigger when I cast them, which dramatically limits how many cards I can potentially draw off of a card like Enchantress over the course of the game. I would much rather have the tutors to get the specific combo pieces that I need than random card draw most of the time. Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think we definitely get rid of Argothian Enchantress. There she is. Do I get rid of Phyrexian Arena? That's a guaranteed extra card every turn. Do I get rid of... Maybe I get rid of Enchantress's Presence, too. Maybe we leave Phyrexian Arena for right now. The extra card draw is fine, but I'm running out of room. Like, I do want the extra cards, it's just I would rather have room for the tutors than random card draw. So... But maybe I would rather have card draw than one of the narrower tutors. We already cut, what was it? The Immortal Sun, because it's more expensive. Yeah, I'm glancing at you, Privileged Position, and your 5 mana investment. And I could be doing other things. It is helpful, though, to make it difficult to target my stuff. Is it better or worse than Spellskite in this deck, though? As far as ways to protect Terra from targeted removal. Spellskite is typically only going to get to do its trick once. Like, not all... I was gonna say not a whole lot of people running, like, you know, shocks and bolts, but there are definitely people running bolts. Just usually don't get too many shock effects. So that one, there's a whole host of like 3+ damage effects that can hit multiple things, and everybody's starting with double life totals. Your red burn kind of has to go a lot further at that point. That's what you're stuck with as far as removal packages go. Five casualties of war. Adept plating. Yeah, the more cards I see that I have to protect Terra, the more I think Spellskite can go. Maybe Reprieve isn't good enough with some of the other things that I have. It is nice that it gets around, can't be countered. Like, that's its biggest argument for keeping it. Alright, with Spellskite on anything, like any of these sublists for protecting Terra? Yeah, it was. Okay. So, that one. This allows still on the list. Did I not cut it? I might not have. I just didn't remember seeing it on the main list for some reason. Alright, so we cut these three, brings us down to 93. Let's take another look at the sublists, because they're the most redundant, so I'm most likely to find another card I can cut. I forget, the Alton Soldier's an artifact creature, right? I can tutor for him with... Yeah, okay. I can tutor for him with Enlightened Tutor, among other things. I was wondering, because I know there are some artifacts I can win the game with and some enchantments, but it's like, is one of the creatures an artifact creature? Like, can I tutor for that one as well? And the answer is yes. Oops. Notice that one. I keep debating Carpet of Flowers. Sometimes it's going to be insane, and sometimes it's going to be weak, and very rarely it's going to be basically unplayable. And it's like, is this actually worth it? And the answer is probably yes, actually. It really only takes two islands in play under the same player's control for this thing to be absolutely absurd for me. Because at that point it's a soul ring, and anything more than that just spirals out of hand as far as mana production goes. I don't know, maybe we don't need Lazatep plating, collecting SWAT, cameo safekeeping, like all of them, and that means the Lazatep plating at always 2 mana can go. Because I do have a handful of counter spells also, so Lazatep plating just protecting it from targeted effects. And I don't really need the 1/1 token. Yeah, I can talk myself into losing that one. Six, seven, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like maybe Dark Steel. While I am concerned about problematic commanders that are difficult to keep down, I'm actually way more concerned about any of them that would actually disrupt my combo. Like anything that actually hates on what I'm doing is more problematic than one like, you know, yeah, Yuriko would be super annoying just because of all of the card draw she gets away with and all of the extra damage, but as long as I can actually pull off my combo, I don't care. It's more something that would stop Terra from doing her thing. And at that point, the other removal spells also work. The only upside is that this one is actually an enchantment in the that can go to the graveyard and get picked back up by Terra's front face. Which at that point, if I'm going to keep it based on that, do I actually lose Path to Exile? Because both of them can only kill creatures. Path is a mana less, but gives the opponent a land, and lets them recast if it is their commander. But Darksteel Mutation costs a mana more and doesn't actually take the thing entirely off the table, so if the enchantment goes away, the effect immediately comes back. If I'm going to cut another piece of removal, I think it's Darksteel Mutation, but I think it's close, and you can make the argument that something else on the list, like, should Darksteel Mutation stay on and Stroke of Midnight come off then? Beast Within stays because it's in one of our two primary colors. Does Darksteel stay in and we get rid of Anguish Making? That way I'm not paying like more life to effects. I don't super care about my life total because I'm going to combo kill, but I do care about my life total when I need to pay life for things in order to get the combo pieces online. Like, that's the only time I actually care about my life total, is when it's getting dangerously low because of that. I want to have access to the resources and not die while finishing off the opponents. We leave Mutation in and get rid of something like Anguished Unmaking. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's better. Anguish does exile, but so do some of my other things. Sometimes exiling is just way better. Anguished or Stroke. But one of those two. And it might wind up being the other one also at some point in time, just because I don't have room for everything, but for right now, Anguished or Stroke. I don't need every single removal spell I have, so I think I can afford to get rid of one more. Let's go with Anguished, I think. How many actual blue cards do I have on the list for Force of Will? Still. Down to 91. Clear these. Like, do I have enough blue cards actually for Force of Will? 1, 2, 3, besides itself. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I hate it. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I hate that one too. Technically 14, but with Fierce Guardianship. 15, and I hate it. 16, 17. I have 17 blue cards currently still on the list, besides Force of Will itself. Also, that means a third of my deck is currently blue almost. I guess technically we have enough for Force of Will, although Fierce Guardianship should not count because if Terra's in play, then Fierce Guardianship is also free. So, but yeah, every single other blue card is a viable pitch if I don't have the mana to cast it in the cases of any of the counter spells or other interaction, and if it's going to win me the game. If I'm losing one of the combo pieces forever in order to protect the combo piece that I'm already casting or have in play, then it doesn't really matter that I lost a different one forever. Maybe it's Sean. I was thinking about cutting Sean before, and I am wondering if I cut him now. He's just the worst way to combo off in this deck. Like, even more so than Delina, who also requires one of the creatures involved be attacking in order to do anything. In this case, her versus Sean, but Sean has that clause where everything goes away if he leaves the battlefield. It might actually still be Sean. I was tempted to cut him before, and I think I'm going to now. Does bring us down to 90. I might need to narrow the ways I protect my combo. I think I have a few too many cards here just in general, so... maybe... So most of the time the counter spells are going to work the same way as Clever Concealment and Protection will. Like, these are more for stopping the opponents from killing all of our things when I can't protect it with counter spells, so maybe I can get rid of Concealment and Protection. Like, their main other thing is to protect all of my stuff on turns where I'm not going off and I'm trying to set up. But a lot of this deck is going to be just going off in the one turn, so... And they're as good as any counterspell at that point for dodging the mass removal, so the counterspells themselves should be good enough. And I need cuts. Alright. Talking myself into it. Clever Concealment and Protection. It's also possible I don't bother with Privilege Position, because I have other ways to protect the combo from target removal. and it's also a 5 mana do nothing enchantment sometimes in this deck, so. Alright, let's get rid of those. Bye to Fairy's Protection. Just casually cutting staples of the format. Alright. What else can I afford to lose? Yeah, losing anything now is gonna, like, it gets worse and worse as the cuts get deeper. At least we got this far before it started to really squeeze. Like, that is not bad. Most of the time, I get to like 100 and I already start to feel it. And I've had decks where it's like, no, I'm at like 140 cards and I don't want to cut anything because everything feels like it belongs here right now. So. Is the Moon Mist combo too janky? It's probably too janky. I really enjoy the fact that it works, but then we absolutely need one of the other pieces to kill the opponents with. So while we're shaving 4 mana off the cost of flip Terra, including one of the red, including the red in her flip costs, still requires me to have a different combo piece in play in order to win. So yeah, let's get rid of Moon Mist. Sorry, Moon Mist. It's a cool trick. Also, since it's just transforming her, yeah, as it enters and after your draw step, but we could still do it on my upkeep, so that way, draw step, she would immediately get the counter anyway. So it's not entirely, shaving the mana and then having to wait a turn cycle. Like, it does not work like that. We would actually still be able to flip Terra, do the thing with her. Although, if I had to cast her main phase in order to pull off the combo, that wouldn't work, so. It does assume that she's in play at least. Therefore vulnerable. So the less ways I have to leave her vulnerable. Although most of the time I'm still going to need to do that. Like, we only have a few ways to grant her haste. And it's hard enough to make room for the stuff that I have. I don't want to also have to make room for Concordant Crossroads and or Mass Hysteria, I think is the red version. Let's get rid of Moon Mist. Can't help but wonder if the Eldest Reborn wouldn't be better served as, like, Dance of the Dead, because I don't necessarily need the creature itself to be untapped. I just need it to be in play. And then the ones that are made off of the combo will take care of the whole being untapped and being able to attack portion of the game. But still, that's a lateral move. It's not actually taking a card out of the deck. I do appreciate because if it's already in play, flipping Terra means that she can copy it. And that's true of Elspeth Conquers Death also. And in the meantime, they're both value cards that do a lot more. But maybe it'd just be better if this were... Yeah. You know what? This is probably better as Dance of the Dead for that reason. Like, the Conquer's Death is doing a lot more to protect me than this is. It's just any creature versus killing the most problematic thing. It is from each opponent, though. But we're not really that disruptive to them, where any creature is probably good enough. We need to kill the most problematic most of the time. Yeah, okay, let's swap this out for Dance of the Dead, because Dance of the Dead is 2 mana. There you go. Oh, wait. Take Moon Mist off before I forget. Okay, so we were at Dominaria. Dominaria United. I think it was Dominaria was Eldest Reborn. Yeah, it would have to be because we were setting up for War of the Spark, so, you know. Referencing Bolus and whatnot. Bastion is each opponent, right? Opponent. And so Zulaport. Yeah, okay. I was 99.9% sure they were, and that's why they were left on the list, but I wanted to just make absolutely sure. Meat Hook is almost definitely... This is 1 life. Okay. It's possible I don't need the Meat Hook Massacre also. Although it does double as, like, bad mass removal if I really need it to. The biggest problem with it is that Terra's a 4-2, so if she's in play and not flipped, and I'm assuming she's not flipped because, you know, I haven't gotten the other combo pieces assembled yet, then I don't want her to die and be more expensive to recast. I'm trying to combo kill people. Because I have Nadir's Nightblade and Bastion and Zulaport. The other option is to cut Zulaport because it's a creature and therefore slightly more vulnerable. And I'd rather have Nadir's Nightblade because Nightblade is when the token leaves play, so it doesn't care. Like if somebody casts, what's its name? Settle the Wreckage or something mid-combat to get rid of all my tokens, they're still going to hemorrhage all the life. Like they're not even getting out of it by exiling the tokens. But Zulaport is both cheap and fairly easy on the mana at black and 1. Meat Hook's a little bit harder on the mana at double black. not unreasonable, but it depends on what my black sources, like what other color they're attached to at the time and what I need. Alright, let me think about it a little more, but maybe. Diplomancy definitely stays. Yeah, I love that I can just point one of my target removal spells at Terra and win the game because of Diplomancy. Let alone any of the things I have to protect her. I mean, we made good progress, even if I stall out here, but I've got like, I want to try and get it to about 50 minutes, so I got like 13 minutes left, and I'm completely stalled out. Is it Tireless Provisioner? The extra treasure that he's granting every time I landfall when I have like all of the fetches in the deck not good enough? It doesn't feel great as a potential card to cut. Dark Steel Mutation, Windgrace's Judgment, Fierce Scarring Chip, Deflecting Swat, Unexplained Absence. Is my count accurate? Let me just double check. I think it is, but I haven't done a recount in a while. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 25, 6. And eyes are tearing up. 26, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31, 2, 33, 4, 35, 6, 7, 38, 39, 40, 41, 2, 3, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 4, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 1, 62, 63, 64, 5, 6, Terra 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 6, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and 86. Is that accurate? That is accurate. Okay. I was really hoping that we had like 1 or 2 more cards cut. Or ideally like 10 more cards cut. Like I just missed a tens digit adjustment somewhere. That we were secretly almost magically done. But no, we are accurate at 86. And while that ate up a bunch of time, at least I know that I'm not off anywhere. Also, thank God we don't have like 89 or something still on the list. That would also suck. That would suck a lot more. I don't know. With Perforos, maybe we can cut Warstorm Surge. Like, we have the ways when the tokens die at end of turn to kill the opponents. Right, yeah, we sacrifice the enchantments at the beginning of the end step, so we don't necessarily need Warstorm Surge, and it is a 6-drop, otherwise do nothing enchantment a lot of the time. Oh, sure, let's cut the 6-drop enchantment. And keeping all these other things. Oh, we cut the Eldest Reborn, but that doesn't actually matter because we replaced it, so. Okay, get rid of Warstorm. What else can we get rid of? I am actually a little low on card draw, specifically. So maybe Imperial Seal can go as a tutor. Like, at least Vampiric I can cast end of turn to get the card that I need. Then we have Demonic and Wishclaw. Limdul's Vault is an instant, so is Enlightened Tutor. We don't have card draw available when we're doing it. Yeah, let's get rid of the Imperial Seal. We get rid of Felwar Stone because we have all of the ramp cards that get our lands out of the deck. Now, granted, we're a 5-color deck, so Felwar Stone is probably fine. Yeah, Felwar Stone is probably too reasonable as an early ramp spell to just cut. If anything, it might be slightly better. It's slightly better unless the opponents have Artifact Destruction or unless I need to shuffle my deck. Because it's always coming in untapped and tapping for a mana immediately. Whereas Nature's Lure and 3 Visits and Farseek are all putting it into play tapped. Get rid of Warstorm Surge. seal. $84. We have cut more than 10 cards today, so I do feel accomplished. When I get down this low, cutting 10 cards in a single session is usually like the minimum to be advancing towards finishing the deck. So, like, if I can't cut 10 cards, if I can't cut a card every 5 minutes on average, I start feeling like I'm not making any progress at all. So, we were at like 96 or 98 to start the day, something like that, so we're definitely below the 10 cuts. Alright. We're close to time, and I do feel like I'm slowing down again, and we did get enough cuts in to make progress. So I think I call it there, and we'll try to finish Terra before the pre-release, but I only have tomorrow and maybe Friday afternoon before the actual pre-release, and I want to do stuff, like watch limited resources thing, as they have their commons and uncommon set review up. And I kind of need it for this set. Like, this set has had no purchase in my brain during spoiler season. There's I can tell you probably about 15 cards off the top of my head that are in this set. And I did my own pre-release prep video. So the fact that I can't tell you like 80% of the instance flash spells and wrath effects off the top of my head, like I have to really focus to start conjuring any of them into my brain, is actually really bad. Like, I use that as a means to perform better at the pre-release, because having those cards in my brain means that I'm at least thinking about what the opponent can do here. That's gonna mess me up, and it's hard to remember half the cards in this set. Oh my god. I think it's partially because of all of the bombardment of set releases is a major factor, and also the trope resonance is not as strong with me. Like, I do like sci-fi and everything, but I don't like, if we did not have so many universes beyond things coming out, I think my brain would be a little more easily adjusted to magic sci-fi at this point. But because the universes beyond stuff is already pushing more traditional magic sets off to the side, the fact that we've only had Tarkir as like a conventional high fantasy, traditional magic set, and then we've had sets where it's like, yeah, these are like a lot of Magic the Gathering things in them, but there's stuff that's pushing towards the edge of, like, we're ignoring the fantasy and like delving into more things like Aether Drift. Yes, all of the cars are very, and motorcycles and everything are very magic for the most part. That they are not conventional vehicles, even though they have the same function as them. They're very, like, slap a coat of steampunk magitech over all of these cards, and so that way it feels a bit more like Magic. But yeah, no, my brain just cannot remember half the stuff in this set. I remember the concepts pretty well. I know the strategies, but remembering individual cards and exactly what they do is way harder than normal for some reason. So, yeah, I kind of need a set review to help me remember what I'm going up against. So, I'm gonna go watch that while I eat lunch, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.